You're listening to Reviving Kanehsatake Radio on RKR 101.7 FM in partnership with the Pines Reporter from the Eastern Door. We're building a community media hub to strengthen Indigenous storytelling and reporting here in Kanehsatake. And today I'm joined by Pines Reporter journalist Fern Marmont, and I'm your host Sterling Mallette. Welcome to the show, Fern. How you doing today?
Pretty good. A little tired today, but ready to go.
There you go. Rusty, I almost forgot to turn on your mic there for a second. So apologize for that if you didn't hear her beginning. But yes, she is here with us. So sorry about that, Fern.
Well, that's all right.
But yeah, it's been a month, first time back, and it's pretty cool. So I get to be back here with Fern. Fern, this is the first time I'm here with you for like 8 weeks now.
I know, it's been a long time.
Yeah, so we're gonna try and do our best today. Hadassah's not here with us, so it's gonna be just me and Fern, and we're gonna try our best to shake the rust off and deliver these stories to you today. So let's start off with the first question, first article, I should say. Caretaker Council leads ecological walk. Caretaker Council member Tekontaterièn led a walk through the Pines last Friday. What was the goal of this walk?
So Hadassah wrote this article, so listeners are just going to have to bear with me, and I'm just going to say what Hadassah wrote. She wrote that the event was centered around engaging with the community over the council's approach to the ecological gift, land transfer. The session was the last of 4 events council has held on the matter for now, according to Etienne. Basically, in the past engagement sessions, Etienne laid out a plan to partner with Eco Corridor Laurentin, an ecological protection nonprofit organization. This partnership would manage the Pines land that is being offered as an ecological gift by Kanehsatake, by real estate developer Gregor Golin. The council's plan is to transfer the Pines to the Eco Corridor to protect it from seizure and illegal development. The land is planned to eventually be transferred back to Kanehsatake, but that could take years or decades. And according to Etienne, the next elected council will be responsible for addressing this.
And I also saw that there was only a handful of community members that had shown up to this. What was the feeling like, and what was the thoughts did the community members have to share?
Well, unfortunately, I wasn't able to make the walk, but Hadassah wrote that many members shared that they use the Pines for walking, biking, foraging, and cultural ceremonies. Some raised a concern that activities like driving on all-terrain vehicles should be prohibited. Hadassah interviewed community member Tina Nicholas, who said she took a half-day off work to attend the walk. Nicholas said, quote, "Sometimes you have to take time out of your day to be part of your community. I'll be able to make a difference because I participated," end quote. But according to Hadassah, some community members criticized on social media that the event was scheduled during a workday.
And also, Eco Corridor's Laurentians was in attendance. What did they have to say about the land in question?
They said that the organization does not intend to permanently keep the Pines land, and that they have no interest in managing the land long term, as they are part of a conservation project, and this is only a temporary solution.
So thank you for that. We're going to move on to number 2 now, because there was 4 articles actually, so I'll just mention that this week, and we're covering all 4 articles here. There's 2 other little kind of blurbs that were in there. We'll mention it. We'll make a little honorable mention to it, but we're going to cover the articles first. So number 2 is Kanehsatake starts post-majority support services. The Kanehsatake Health Center has launched a new program called Post-Majority Support Services. First off, what is this new program and who is leading it?
So this is another article from Hadassah, and she wrote that Kanehsatake joined many First Nations across Canada last week in this program, and that the program covered youth who have aged out of foster care services. Since August 14th, Indigenous youth in foster care aged 16 to 25 are eligible for these services at the Kanehsatake Health Center, and the service's purpose is to help youth become independent by providing mentorship, referrals, and funds to cover a variety of needs. The service will also provide a safety net for youth to transition into adulthood after an abrupt end of foster care at 18, said Anika Road, who is the coordinator of the program and part of the KHC's Child and Family Service teams. She likened this abrupt end to falling off a cliff. Garode said that the goal is to meet youth, ideally at 16, to ensure that they have a plan to support themselves after foster care.
And any idea where this funding will be coming from for the new program?
Yes, so Hadassah wrote that since 2022, services are funded through the First Nations Child and Family Services, the FNCFS, program under Indigenous Service Canada.
And how can youth connect with the KHC on this?
So Youth Protection Services will recommend Kanehsatake post-majority support services to Indigenous minors in foster care who can choose to be referred to the health center. Youth can also register for services themselves.
All right, thank you for that. So we're going to get to number 3, and I'm going to say this right now. So I had a misunderstanding here. I thought that Fern was going to be just covering one of Hadassah's articles today, but she's actually covering them all. So this one was directed towards Hadassah because I had completely misunderstood. I thought that she was going to be here and we were going to do this. So the questions might be a little bit, they were directed more towards Hadassah, so this might be a little bit off, but I think we tweaked them a little bit here at the last second. We were like, oh, we gotta tweak this. So I have to apologize to Fern here because she was like, man, I can't answer that question. She's like, this is not for me. So anyway, we'll get into it. So number 3, Tekontaterièn Parents and Tots program. The Kanehsatake Health Center is facilitating this program, which sees mothers and their babies come together with mothers and do activities. You painted a picture really well in your article. Of course, that was for Hadassah. That made me hungry. Take me there and tell me what you experienced. Although Fern, you can't really take me there, but you can tell me what was written by Hadassah in the article here.
Yeah, before I jump into what Hadassah wrote, just want to say, totally not your fault, Sterling. We could have figured it out. But yeah, so Hadassah wrote in this article, and she kind of set the scene by writing, quote, "A large slow cooker of Bolognese sauce bubbles with the aroma of lunch from the kitchen counter, bags of flour, shredded cheese, and yeast sit beside olive oil, seasoning, and bowls, ready to be made useful for the event of the day, baking cheese bread," end quote, which I think is great imagery from Hadassah. And it sounds to me like Hadassah had a really cozy time at the birthing center, and I am going to admit I'm a bit jealous.
Yeah, well, anytime you can have some bolognese, some cheese bread, it sounds pretty good. Tell me about some of the activities that they have planned.
So Hadassah wrote that activities vary from educational, cultural, and craft classes to family-friendly tips like oh my gosh, that's a tongue twister. Family-friendly trips like to sugar shacks and indoor playgrounds. For Mother's Day, they did a massage and facial event, made homemade jams, pies, and a family photo shoot. They made matching parent and child tie-dye shirts and made traditional holiday crafts.
I think you got to show up, do your journalism job when it's massage day and something like that. You got to go take a nice relaxing day and be part of the activities. It seems like an amazing experience for mothers and very personal as well. Of course, what did some of the mothers you talked to have to say about the program?
So Hadassah had the chance to speak with Cassidy Beaupre, a mom of a 1-year-old son, who said, quote, "We got to make moccasins. I never sewed a day in my life and literally never picked up and threaded a needle. And they walked us through it step by step. And I literally created something for him," end quote.
Yeah, that was actually one of the more personal questions there. Fern reworded that one. But I had asked Hadassah, I'm like, since you're a mother, tell me how you feel about this experience. And and of course, very personal question, and Fern does not have any children, so unless she has some mystery child that she hasn't told us about here, but as far as we know, she does not. So anyway, we're going to move on to the last question here. Quebec U15 takes bronze. So a great showing for Team Quebec in the boys U15 category, taking down the bronze medal at the 2026 Lacrosse Canada Minor Box National Championship in Halifax. Tell me about some of the local flair that the U15 team had.
Yes, so this is finally an article that I got to write. So the U15 had one of our local athletes, Tekontaterièn, and while I wasn't able to speak with him about the experience, I was able to speak with his father, Randy, who was able to travel to the championships and watch his son and the Quebec U15 place 3rd in the entire country, which is a pretty incredible thing. Randy said that Tekontaterièn had multiple assists during the championship.
And U15 boys weren't the only ones. We had some locals also playing for the U17 girls team as well. How did their experience go?
So Odisto, Tina Nelson, and Serena Ionescu played for the Quebec U17 teams, and while they weren't able to take a place on the podium, it's still a pretty incredible thing that they were able to compete on such a huge national lacrosse stage. I wasn't able to speak with Ionescu in time, but I was able to speak with Nelson, who had a bit of a tough time during the championships. She got an injury and was unable to continue playing during the championships. But she did tell me a very heartwarming story. Before her injury, she was able to play against her niece, who played for Team First Nations. And the championship game was actually the first time the two met on the field. When the game ended and the teams walked off, their family was waiting for them, and they had a bit of a family reunion.
And what did Kanadotu's father have to say about his performance?
So Randy spoke to me about how his son worked really hard to be there, and Ganadoto is already looking forward to the next year's championship, where he will play hopefully in the U17 league. But Randy told me that there is some discussion on him switching over to the Ontario League, so he's exposed to more of a high-class environment, as Ontario is one of the major teams in the country and this year's championship's gold winner.
So thank you for that. I think we covered all of our articles today, but we wanted to do an honorable mention to Owen Rice, who is now eligible for the National Lacrosse League 2026 draft, which is also mentioned in the Pines Reporter. And we had another little blurb about the missing, Hell's Angel list from the community. Supposedly that's connected to the community here. So there's a story about that as well in the Pines Reporter. You can go check it out today. So with that being said, is there anything that you'd like to add? Anything that you'd like to say that maybe we didn't touch on today, Fern?
Not really that I can think of. Just wishing everybody as usual to have a good weekend.
Yeah, so I will wish you all a good weekend as well. And once again, thanks, Fern. It was awesome. It was good to be back after nearly 2 months.
Yeah, congrats on finishing your first week from being back. Ooh.
Yeah, well, that's what I said. It was all about shaking off the rust, right?
Exactly.
And me and you, it's been 7 weeks we didn't do this.
Holy mow.
So 7 whole weeks. But now we're back in the saddle again. So with that being said, I'm going to have to say that was a conversation with the Pines Reporter journalist Fern Marmont from the Eastern Door. It's all part of our collaboration with Reviving Kanehsatake Radio to grow Indigenous media and community reporting here in Kanehsatake. For more local stories and updates, stay tuned here on RKR 101.7 FM. But don't forget that you can also get this week's copy of the Eastern Door at Bayside Convenience, Mohawk Gas Bar, Ganagio, and Little Tree, or you can subscribe online at theeasterndoor.com. Till next week, Onigiwahi, everybody.